Hello, friends. This is my first webinar in the Startup Success Series. The topic is how we create 100% successful startups that grow exponentially. I'm an engineer MBA with 54 years of diverse experience, and that has enabled me to become a startup advisor and a business excellence consultant. It's all practical. Now, as an agile learner, I have width and depth of post-COVID-19 soft and technical skills at my command. This has enabled me to teach co-founders all these new skills and to act as their startup advisory for formation, validation, and growth stages. I also handle existing startups to help them understand how they can cope with the post-COVID-19 situation and revamp themselves to maximize value for end customer and again grow exponentially. So here we are with the first webinar. Now, as seen here, when the chief asks how we can achieve exponential growth, today the answer would be to go well beyond organizational excellence. Well beyond. Today's agenda is shown here. Please read for yourself. As you see, we will be covering a large number of topics and ground today. So how we achieve 100% success, the basics are distance yourself from business, from your competitors. Keep as far distance from them. The further away you're from them, you will succeed that much more with your customers and be very close to your customer and be customer obsessed. Now, mentoring deals with, sharing your experience and knowledge with others and helping them grow. You said, this is what I did. Why don't you try it? You're not really developing them. You're just passing on knowledge. And a coach is someone who provides guidance to the client on their goals and helps them, achieve their goals. Usually a coach's domain is narrow. When coaches advise, say, the CEO of a large corporation, they are actually doing the same thing as we do in startup advisory work. We are expected to know everything about how businesses work and how a startup should be developed without any past experience and past, data to go with, and how we must actually go across the horizon. The key to success is teamwork, working together, and it is teamwork which creates high performance agile teams that really make a startup what it should be like. So my job as a mentor would be to create high performance agile teams working under servant leadership at the top and at various levels within the organization. Now, in startups, we want cross-functional teams. These teams have members with a variety of skills, but that does not mean that each member has all of the skills. They can have 1, 2, 3, or 4, but there are a large number of skills which you need. That's why we have cross-functional teams. each member should have at least one great thing to come up with. For instance, if you have a spade, you should know the best way to use a spade. The person who's using a hammer may not be as good at using a spade, and vice versa. That's why we have cross-functional teams of people with different skills. Now, say there are 4 cross-functional teams, and they work across different verticals, say design, engineering, operations, quality assurance, marketing, and more like that, accounting maybe. So cross-functional teams actually bring in their collective knowledge about all the areas and advise how best things can be done. You have cross-functional teams, 3 of them here, and they work across different verticals. Now, they are helped by another creative agile team, which serves all cross-functional teams. These people create disruption, and whatever a cross-functional team is coming up with, they come up and bring counter ways of doing things. So with all this, activity going around, you ultimately come up with the best solution. Now let's look at innovation-led advanced advisory. The thing that is required here is a strategic mindset, then business innovation and enabling systems. For the time being, we look at agile servant leadership provided by the co-founders and 1 or 2 or 3 the other people they hire of high caliber. So we teach them how to be agile servant leaders. Leadership is taught. You don't come built in with a leadership style. And this is what creates agile teams. And these teams are taught to have a strategic mindset. The mindset is, will do work culture. I will do this, that type of culture. So what startup entrepreneurs do is they have an idea, they come together to create a startup, and then they do something which is shown here in this funny type of box. I will make it bigger. So 100% success that we require comes from using laser sharp vision to maximize value delivery to served customers. So whatever is done within this large box with shareholders and customers at the 2 ends, this requires laser sharp vision to maximize value delivery to served customers. Okay. So served customers are also shareholders. And not only just the customers we are dealing with, and we need happy customers as shown here. So there are 2 things that the board of directors, operative management, and operative teams require. And it is working at the strategy level. So you see, the board of directors are totally concerned with the work at the strategy level, and the operative management, their HODs, are also dealing with the strategy level. So here, advisors play their role, and they consult partners to do the very best to arrive at creating the right strategy for creating a great company. A startup must focus on becoming a great company, because the moment they go to market, they have to function like a great company, totally different from most of the companies you see on the ground. At the operative level, the work is more to do with activities and jobs done to achieve the goals. And here we have operative management working with operative teams to do all this. The objective is to minimize waste, to do everything that adds value to the end customer. And if there is something which is required to be done for the people within the organization, that has to be minimized. We have to pass on control to the end customer, but the control should not be such that it hampers the end customer. It should be what enables the customer to get the best out of us. The fundamental idea here is that we should have a single window approach to the end customer. When a customer says he has a problem or he wants to know something, the operator who lifts the phone should be able to give him the solution on the spot without passing him on to anybody else. If you have been dealing with Amazon, you will see that online, when you get to an Amazon executive, he will give you the total solution. He will never say, I'll talk to my boss. I've never come across that. In the many, many years, I bought things from Amazon. So just see who are our stakeholders. Everybody is our stakeholder because everybody connected with the startup, which is going to become a great company, has a stake in the growth. Just 1 minute, I'll have a sip of water. Startup advisory at the basic level consists of formation and validation. For growth, we really need advanced advisory. But startup advisory teaches the fundamentals of growth. Here, as we see in startup advisory covers formation, validation, and the beginning portion of growth. And business excellence comes in when you are trying to do everything totally differently in order to achieve exponential growth. And because of all the work that has gone into creating this disrupted environment due to the pandemic, we mentor for attributes, soft skills, and technical skills. For exponential growth, we deal with hierarchic plan, a strategic hierarchy plan, and with security, resilience, health, and safety. The second part of this is very important because without resilience and being able to bounce back from disasters and recover from things like the pandemic, we need to be resilient, which is what we call, business continuity. So health and safety is important, and for that there is a very good ISO standard, which we'll just talk about also later. So the whole objective is to create excellence-led world champion startups. No doubt about it. Innovation-led advanced, okay, sorry, I'll go back. Okay. Now, we don't have strategic management here, but this we already talked about. So after we had developed a servant leadership and a strategic mindset amongst all the people who are working in the organization, we have what we call business innovation. Here we re-strategize innovative startup creation with value proposition business model canvas. I'll talk about this at length and show you how an ordinary business model canvas no longer works in the pandemic situation created drastic change that we now see amongst us. And the enabling systems which help us to achieve the very best are these, total reduction of complexities, total minimization of waste, and absolute maximization of end customer perceived value. So the value proposition business model canvas that I just talked about is as shown here. This is how it is worked out. And the company which has really created this, to which all startups are now indebted, is Strategizer. See their name on the bottom left side and go and buy all the books that they have published. They are all available on Amazon.com and Amazon.in. So first we learn what this value proposition is all about. Then we apply it. When you apply it, there are two cutouts you see there, a lady and a gentleman holding them. They are the key. And when we have created this value proposition, we apply it in the business model canvas and become totally successful. Now, this is actually a business model canvas with two patches in it. The box is the value proposition business design, and the circle is the customer served design. So let's see how this is done. So first we start with the customer. In the traditional sense for startups, they say first you start with the idea and then go and develop the idea. But in the modern era of high uncertainty, we have an idea, we put it on the back burner, and then we prepare this business model canvas with value proposition design. And when we go through this, our idea actually matures and it develops. Maybe something very different from what we thought of in the beginning. But what you arrive at will be totally amazing. I can tell you that. This is something we use at the beginning of creating a startup. And we work on this even before the co-founders go into an accelerator and start building the startup. They have to do this in advance on their own, and based on their performance in team presentations to business advisors who will be helping them and the angel investors who will be putting the buck on them, they are selected. What we see in these presentations is how these teams gel together and support each other during this 15 minutes. Their body language, their tone, and what they say and how they behave. Mostly that is what decides whether we take on a team or not. We can develop a team into a great startup, but as a team, they must function very, very well together. If there is tension amongst team members, then we would not want to be taking a bet on these people. So the customer profile that we start with consists of selecting a segment which we want to enter. It can be one segment, it can be two segments. We select a niche market. We don't want to be global in creating startup. We select a niche market and work on the niche market better than anybody else, much, much better than anybody else. Okay, now in this niche market, the customer has some jobs to do. We are zeroed in on a customer. For instance, if a customer is saving uh, uh, poor people from starvation in villages, okay. The next thing is, okay, villages where? It could be in the whole of India. That would be very tough because everything is different in different parts of India. So maybe we select to start with villagers in a particular district who are all alike and who are starving, because of various reasons. They are not getting jobs, they are not unable to do anything which makes them productive. So the customer jobs that we come up with, okay, now these people want to survive. They are willing to learn a new trade, to become, people who will create handicrafts, and they want somebody to market them. Then there are other people who want to work as health in the healthcare system and, go around and, be companions to older people or nurses to sick people. So whatever, I'm uh, just thinking on the spot. So we see what are the customer jobs. Even the poorest have some jobs to perform to survive. And as we go up, everybody has some jobs they want to look at. For instance, this normal middle class during the pandemic, because of the control measures of, social distancing and lockdowns, their job was, how do we shop? If we go out, we'll catch uh, COVID and be hospitalized and go through a lot of issues. But if we don't go out, how do we shop? Do we take the risk of going out? So the customer said, the job that I want done is to be able to shop from home. I want the shop to come to me, not the other way around. So many solutions have been found for this. Many local, shops, grocery stores have, got onto WhatsApp. You send them a message, I want this, and they'll deliver it to you at home. But again, now this is not done with social distancing in mind, because when the person comes with what you order, you have to look at it in front of them and say, okay, I got what you want. Now, Amazon has come up with a great solution of social distancing. Supplying goods at a distance. I'll do a case study here on that. Okay. So that'll explain this. So the pains of shopping are because we are not able to actually do social distancing while shopping. And very few people have come up with solutions. One of them happens to be Amazon. And then they'll gain, isn't it? And why they'll gain is because the customer gains. Yes, look, the customer is smiling because he has come to see that one company really supplies without endangering him in any way and protecting him from COVID. And the value proposition that is part of this is you know, what are the gain creators? Okay. What are the pain relievers? And what are the products and services? You can start anywhere and go around it. You could probably start with products and services. What services you will offer that will relieve pain and be gain creators, both for you as well as for the customer, but mainly for the end customer. Okay. There may be some iteration up and down between this box and the customer profile. Now, when we go to regular, advisory, there are three areas: formation, validation, growth. So these are covered by startupcommons.org, of which I happen to be a member, like thousands of other startup advisors. We collaborate and tell them how we do advisory works, and all this is put together, and the best possible advisory solutions are being offered. Okay, so information stage, as you see here, there are from idea to business levels. Information, we focus on developing the people and the organization through initial mission, vision, and strategy creation for the startup. And then next we look at about the product itself, and we say what we'll do, for whom, why, and how. Okay. In validation stage, we want to create a lean startup. In the formation stage, we have hardly spent any money. It's all in the head what we are doing with the help of your advisors. Okay. And no money other than what you pay to be in the startup full time is required. People who want to create a startup part time, I say, okay, I'll work on this with my team 2 days a week. Rest of the time, I'm on my job. Well, these people are not going to be really creating 100% successful startups. I won't advise anybody who's part time. I'll say, okay, you leave your job, and it's a 24-hour assignment for you and the co-founders you find, and we will help you become 100% successful. I might even say, okay, I'll give you back the money if you're not 100% successful. But you must work on this one agenda alone. There's no such thing as multitasking. So you do this formation stage. It takes 3 intense months. And then you come up at the end of this at 0 stage with a minimum viable product. This is mostly on paper, sketches, and mock-ups. Now, with this mock-up with you, you start validating the minimum viable product. You see it right up there, minimum viable product here. Okay? You have created this minimum viable product at the end of this, and you start with this and you validate it through iterations or pivoting. Okay? So you keep on working at it and say, okay, this has become better and better and better until such time as say, yes, now it is really perfect. Nobody else is going to come up with this type of product. By product, I don't mean only physical products. Most of the things that startups come up with these days are virtual products. In other words, services. Okay. So you come up with a marketable service or a product, and this thing is totally different from what others are offering. It's something totally new to the world. Now, this is your contribution to humanity. That's how I see it. Now, when you've done this contribution to humanity, you are ready to actually grow, and you are in the scale-up stage. Okay, the scale-up first goes slightly up and then suddenly takes off and becomes exponential growth. Now, many people whom we call serial startup creators create a startup with their co-founders and a small team from formation and up to validation. And when the validation is completed and they're ready to go to market, they will hive off and sell this to somebody who will take it to the scale-up stage. They make money there, and then they start another startup. Why? It's real fun doing this, because growth that is scaling up is a much, much tougher proposition, and it requires a lot of work, lot of work. This should take about 2 years today. Say for many people who started their startups in the 1990s, early 1990s, I would say, they took a long time to reach the growth stage and have exponential curve. Okay. If you study what Amazon has achieved, you'll see that they have gone through a lot of pain. Okay. So what are we doing from idea to business? We're building services, products, and businesses. And the business comes from 2 onwards. Products come up to 2, products and services, and the rest of the time we are building. Okay. And we're building from -2, we're from the idea stage to 0, we are minimum viable product. Then at 1, we have a reasonable, idea of what the product is like, and then we create the lean startup to support this idea. Okay. At the bottom, we have a team. We create a team, and then we create the organization. Yeah, I won't go into details. Just have a look. I'll have another sip of water. So where agreements are concerned, these are agreements between the startup and its management and the angel investors. And then there are agreements between the startup co-founders and the advisors. Everyone has these 2 are separate agreements, service level agreements, which show what the startup founders are going to do and what the advisors are going to do. It's very clear. If I enter into such an agreement, I will say you will work full-time on the startup and I will work full-time with you. I'm available to you for so many hours, maybe 20 hours a day, anytime you ring me up, but you should also be available to me, things like that. And then there's a different type of agreement between the investor and the co-founders of the startup. Everybody has to keep their part of the bargain. This service level agreement is very, very important. You must not help anybody build a startup without these agreements. So in advanced advisory, this is what we do, create a value-focused, sustainable organization experience. I've coined this. It is part of a business action model I created for startups, as you'll see just now. So in this model, what we do is that we reduce complexity. Nothing should be complex in the enterprise. Why are existing companies stagnating? They have gone large, but they have created more and more complexities. When they come across a hurdle and try to solve it, they come up with some whole lot of other hurdles and create more and more complexities. Okay. So we have to learn how to reduce complexities. And to do this in the post-COVID-19 environment, we need to use a hybrid acceleration process. This acceleration process, hybrid, I mean the normal, you know, uh, uh, advisory process plus advanced advisory attached to it. Okay, that creates a hybrid accelerator. And this is what I have proposed to Startup Commons, and I hope they will adapt it for startups across the world. I'll be going through that just now. So then we create value delivery to startup co-founders, angel investors, VCs, other shareholders, and then obviously to the end customers. And this we do through value proposition business model. At every block, there are 9 blocks in the value proposition business model canvas. We create value, value, value. Then we have business excellence. We create a excellent company, a great company. Not just a good company, but the best. So here is my model, which is the starting point of creating business excellence. And when you go through this rigorously and follow each step to and fro, you actually create an excellent company. I won't propose this to a brick and mortar company because there are so many legacy systems and so much politics and all that they would not be able to create business excellence. Unless, of course, there was somebody like Amazon. Okay, so this starts with even before people come to the hybrid accelerator to work with us. It starts with co-founders finalizing value proposition design and creating value proposition business model canvas. That's when they come to us and we select them. So we teach them to 5 hours of, program of how to create this value proposition business model canvas. And they go and prepare and come back and 15 minutes explain what's in all their 9 boxes. And they think that it is all about, the technicalities of what they're doing. But in reality, it is not the technicalities that matter. What really matters is how they coordinate as a team and support each other on the stage when asked questions, and how alert and happy they are working together. If there is any dissent within the team, it will be apparent either through body language or the tone or voice, and we'll catch it. And no matter how good the business proposition model they made, it's unlikely that we will ever think of having them as part of our accelerator as a startup we are going to advise. So just look at it. To create a good company, you need all these things. Any company which wants to go from good to best needs to be doing this. But I bet on a startup being able to achieve this more than any other type of company. Okay, this covers everything. And if you write to me, go to my startup website and send me an email. I will send you this presentation which has got this all there. Okay, and I'm willing to give more and more information on this to anybody. I got backup information in hordes for every one of these processes. Okay. So when going through 2, 3, 4, 5, you come to a stage where you want feedback. And for feedback, we have this number 6, which we call a success dashboard. So we measure various key result areas depending on the startup. When you're not dealing with external dealers, you will not have that there. If you have a social startup and for some reason you don't need dealers, which is unlikely. Anyway, suppose you don't need leaders, then you remove that. But if you have dealers, you have to look at their profitability. But if they don't find what they're doing for you profitable, they will cut corners and will not give you the best service. Only the people who just want to get by will come to you. You want the best. And to do that, you measure all this, and we measure what we call OKRs. I'll have a case study on this for you, objective key result, and how it is measured. So this is a case study. So Amazon success mantra is obsessive focus on OKR. Okay. So objective-based key result areas is called OKRs. Now, these are coming to us from Amazon's mission and vision statement. These are what decide what are the objectives of Amazon. So Amazon's mission statement here says that they strive to offer their customers the lowest possible prices, the best available selection, and the utmost convenience. The objective then is appealing e-commerce services to satisfy target customers' need. Even Amazon has got target customers for every offering. So price, selection, and convenience are the KRAs. Then Amazon mission statement is to be the Earth's most customer-centric company. Here, customers will be able to find and discover anything they might want to buy. Wow, online. Great. So actually, Amazon is already very near this objective. And the objective is ultimately emanating from the vision statement to become the best e-commerce company in the world. Arguably, they already are. The KRAs are global reach, widest selection of products and services, and customer-centric approach. So they are working very hard at this. And maybe very soon you'll find Amazon comes up with another vision statement because they are already able to connect in the connected world such that if I am in India and from India, I want to buy something, I look for it on Amazon.in. If I'm not satisfied, I go to Amazon.com, their US site, and maybe I find a better product, something that's not still available in India. I can go and buy it and they'll deliver it. The government is also happy because they'll charge you general sale tax on this transaction because you're buying something from outside. So great. But anyway, even in India, you'll have to pay GST on whatever you buy from Amazon. So that's no real inconvenience. Okay. So how do Amazon deliver their OKRs? They do this through their front line. Amazon always deals with its customers through its front line. It can be people who come to deliver product to you, or it could be the helpline to whose executive you talk on the phone. They are the front line. And I assure you, you will always find a solution from the front line. You do not have to go anywhere else. They will give solution on the spot. So due to lack of time, I am not giving examples of what kind of solution the helpline advisor does in Amazon, but it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay. So when I got this product on 1st of September, by the time I came back, there was already a message on, Alexa device, waiting for me. So I tell Alexa, Alexa, what's the notification? And it says, such and such thing has been delivered. It took me just 20 seconds to get from the gate to the room where Alexa is installed near the TV. Okay. Then I went to the order page on the Amazon app, and I clicked on what I'd received. And this is the feedback form that came up. So they said delivered today, rate your delivery experience. I gave it 5. It was 5, totally flawless. The delivery associate and the packaging was great. Okay. And I didn't have any other problem. If it could have been, delivered in an open package or something, I could have added it there. Okay, but there never any problem most of the time. Most of the time. So they said you rated this delivery 5 stars. So tell us more about the delivery associate. So this is what I tick marked, what you see in pink right here. Okay. This is what contactless delivery means, and nothing really more than this. These are the key result areas of contactless delivery. If they find a 5th one, I'm sure they'll add that here. But these are the real deliverables required for contactless delivery. And in each case, their delivery associate lives up to this customer's expectation. Okay. If an associate fails, for instance, he is not wearing a mask, face covering, in other words, he'll have to go back for some more training. Today, I find, in fact, for last 2 months, there are very few people on the road in Punjab are wearing face masks. I don't know why. Even the milkman who comes in the morning to give us milk, he's not wearing a mask. Just imagine. Neither are the other people who are, getting milk from him. But of course, I always wear a mask. But I'm not trying to set an example. I'm trying to protect myself. Okay. Now, tell us more about the packaging. So here the key result areas are sturdy packaging, appropriate packaging, 100% recyclable packaging, and no Amazon packaging used. Now, this is rare, but some supplier might use non-Amazon supplied or designed packaging. Okay, that would be troublesome for him if reported. So he might even lose his supplier status. So everything was right here. And then I went to the next page, feedback and action of the product. Need help with your item. If you want to return and replace it, you can click and do whatever you want. If you want it replaced and you say replace, immediately they say your order has been placed. The product in replacement will be on way shortly. Meanwhile, within 4 hours, our associate will come and pick up the product you did not like. You need not tell us why you didn't like it, just return it. In a recent case, the product which I did not like and I wanted to return, it was picked up within half an hour. Can you imagine? Some associate must have been nearby, and he came buzzing in on his bike. I had the product already packed, and I gave it to him. He didn't even want to see what's inside. He said, "Thank you, sir. You will get your replacement very soon." Fair enough. The product replacement was coming from Chennai, where normal delivery they quoted for the first product I bought was 7 years. They delivered in 5 days, but the replacement was sent post haste, by some good Amazon carrier, and it came to me on the second day. That's the kind of service, okay, you get. And when you write product reviews, they are taken very seriously because your customers go through them and then only decide what to buy. Now, OKRs delivered by Amazon as its front line. This is what I coined. The magic is in Amazon Prime membership. See, Amazon Prime membership originally came up for fast delivery. Same day delivery in UK, I don't know in UK, same day delivery in US, even 2 hours delivery in places. India, we have next day delivery. And we pay only 999 rupees for 1 year of membership. And against the membership, not only do we get the free deliveries, we also get unlimited streaming of movies, TV shows, and music on Amazon Prime, which I can watch on my smart TV. This is giving Netflix a run for its money. And I do not know which is better, Netflix or Amazon Prime. The jury's out. But Amazon Prime doesn't charge you anything for this, whereas Netflix charges a lot. Now, Amazon Prime members are the backbone of Amazon. That is no doubt. The message on the label tape shows what extras Amazon Prime customers get. What a way to advertise, okay? Now, when I saw the packaging, this innovative packaging was totally unique. There's a barcode to identify each type and size of packaging so that when you give them feedback, they know what packaging was actually used. The strong tape on the packaging is easy to remove. It is very tough, but easy to remove. And it does not actually, pull out a piece of the cardboard when you're moving it. Just see, I removed a part of it and took a picture. And it's so neat. I can reuse that cardboard box for many other things. Then when you put this back again, it will stick as well. Then there's a coded label that is stuck on it. When the Amazon delivery boy who's delivering it to you, you'll see that outside, he will click on this and then put the package for you to take away. So that is how within 20 seconds, Alexa is telling you that your package has arrived. Okay. So this code that you see there gives full history of the order transaction, right from the time you ordered the product, what happened in between, and when it got delivered. This Amazon arrow is now the real, uh, real, whatever you call it, the brand image. Even without Amazon written on top, you'll recognize this as Amazon. Just like you recognize Nike from its label. You don't have to say Nike. They have come to the stage now, Amazon. And out here, they advise you that packaging is made of recycled paper and you must recycle it also. Put it in a bin which will send this for recycling. And then they give you a social message, save water. Yeah, that's great. And this side up symbol is for added product safety because heavy products come in this package. And if they are not put side up, there'll be trouble. Something may get damaged. And the ultimate magic is the final customer experience. When you receive the product, even before you have known anything else about what's inside, how it is packed, you already are fully confident that whatever Amazon is delivering will be first class. Every customer, sorry, like myself, really admires the packaging, savors it, and then opens it very gently. So this is a study about Amazons. And next I come to strategic hierarchy plan. This is what is needed to expedite exponential growth. In another webinar, we'll be going through this whole strategic plan and the action plan. So I will not really talk about it here. All I want you to know is that OKRs are a part of this program right at the bottom. When in the action plan, you have again objectives and what you have to do, a checklist of steps to take in order to achieve a stated objective, and then OKRs. But to come to the action plan, a lot of work has to be done in the top portion, the strategic plan. When you join a good startup, they will take you through a strategic hierarchy plan. So now re-strategizing the business model. I've given you the business model. So how do you strategize it? When I say re-strategize means to strategize it innovatively. Just don't look at it and say, I have to do this, this, this. You look at each box and say, they say, create a mission statement. Now you say, how effectively can I create this mission statement? It is not something that, is just to be done and got out of the way, and then you've forgotten all about it. No, it is something which will lead you to success. And based on all the mission statements of the co-founders you've formed, the startup's mission statement. So you re-strategize, think, I must do this really well. So anything in the business model similarly has to be done very, very well. So we'll re-strategize the value proposition model that I showed you. And then we will also re-strategize the business model. So you made a business model right in the beginning. Now you will re-strategize it and improve it while you are doing the startup. I would advise that maybe every week you look at it and say, how and where can we improve it? So when we are re-strategizing our business model, this is especially for existing startups which are faltering. They should create a new value proposition business model and use the new normal as the base for renewal of the startup. If they don't do this, they will simply stagnate. More of the same will make it worse for you. You must do new things to work up the work that you're doing and grow and achieve exponential growth. And what do? Use the business model canvas to create your strategic plan as shown above. After this, you use your re-strategized business model to transform your organization. But I would say that you make a business value proposition based business model of mine as a part of your re-strategized business model. That is something new that I have recently introduced, and I'm insisting on that this value proposition business model of mine should be a part of the re-strategized business model canvas. Nobody is using it yet. Let's see how many startups start using it. I'm giving my model free to everybody. So what are the attributes, soft skills, and technical skills for Industry 4 era that the startup founders and their teams must know in order to succeed in the new environment? Unless they have acquired these new skills, they will also stagnate like existing startups, which are stagnating because nobody actually taught them these attributes, soft and technical skills. So first we look at post-COVID-19 change and opportunity. Okay. So COVID-19 control measures came in as soon as COVID became a pandemic on the 1st of January 2020. So by March, April, everybody has these control measures in place. So these control measures led to rapid digitization of industries and services to counteract these control measures. Two control measures which we already talked about is social distancing and lockdown. Now to deal with social distancing and lockdown, Amazon really perked up and did much, much more than they're already doing to give us better services. So this is the new normal. Okay, rapid digitization of industries and services. Overall new normal. Then we have this rapid digitization and development of artificial intelligence at a very fast pace. In the first 6 months from January 2020 to June end, we achieved as much digitization as was expected to happen by end 2025. So in a way, we are already in the projected 2025 scenario. Believe me, and we must behave as if we are in 2025. So there have been rapid changes, and this is the result. So the result is that there is 100% success for startups and companies which adapt new age skills, the skills which I'm going to talk about just now. I do not know any university which is teaching these skills, nor do I know any company which has the capability of developing these skills in their uh, employees. But these skills are necessary to first, stabilize, then grow fast for everybody, not just startups. These are the real opportunities of startups, that when you come in for training, insist that these skills are taught to you during the 7 months you are there till you are ready to go for market. And when the startup advisors teach you these skills, you will be better than anybody else in any existing startup or old age company. So the attributes that we want you to know as a startup are professionalism, personal vision and mission, which leads to the startup's mission and vision, and of course, values and culture. Then we teach you how to manage yourself so that you achieve the maximum progress in work and at the same time keep your family and dependents happy. We teach you all that. Yeah, manage yourself, prioritize things, do not do things which should not be done. When you pick up a paper, dispose of it then and there. Don't pick it up again to look at it. Put it aside. Okay, I'll look at it later. And of course, if possible, no paperwork. Then you have to develop negotiation skills for negotiation, everything within the startup team itself. The world is about negotiations, and you have to negotiate with your turnkey contractors who are going to help you create different parts of your startup as you go to market. And we teach you how to be agile learners. When you are agile learner, you keep up to date, right up to date with what's happening in the world, and you adapt it to your startup. Don't be like an MBA, who's already 5 years behind when he comes with his fresh degree, because what they taught him is at least 5 years backdated, even if it's in America. Okay, so while you're doing the MBA, what you should have done is kept up to date with what's happening in each of the subjects. I don't see anybody doing it, but I kept up to date even when I was doing engineering. That is right in 1962. That time we kept up to date through books. Now we keep up to date more easily with the internet and with ebooks. Now, then we have a set of soft transferable skills. Transferable means that no matter which department they put you in, or even if you leave the company and go to another company, you take these skills along with you. And you apply, say you're working in purchase and you have these skills. These skills are exactly the same skills are also applicable. When from purchase, they transfer you to head the design division. Okay, so first is how well we communicate and connect. And these are the 3 skills required for that. Interpersonal communication, business communication, emotional intelligence at work. Then post-COVID-19 essential skills that we require, soft skills, are professionalism, personal vision and mission, and then the startup mission and vision, and managing yourself, negotiate. Okay, we already gone through this, have we? Okay, sorry, I've gone back. Now, we have to learn to lead and transform. So soft skills required for this is servant leadership, led transformation, and agile teams, which do agile teamwork and collaborate inside the organization and outside the organization. Sorry, my thing is not moving up. It got stuck. Anyway, I'm up now. So then we have analytical decision-making skills. So we are talking of, data analytics. So this is part of that. It teaches you the very basics of data analytics. And when you get an insight into this, you are going to be very good at data analytics. You just don't start at the top. You start with the basics, then you develop your own data analytic systems. Then creativity, innovation, and design thinking. These are used as problem-solving tools. Even the most complicated product can be designed and put in market in a highly innovative way if you use design thinking, of which creative and innovation is a part. And then we teach you all about the business model canvas with the value proposition design built into it. Then we have transferable technical skills. The first of this is the post-COVID-19 new normal and how it, how this new normal is developed, how, control measures affect this, how is the new normal being used in different parts of the world, how we can get better by using this new normal to our advantage. We talk all about this. The best place where the new normal has been handled very well is South Korea, Singapore, and China. That's what my study says. Then we have business continuity management to survive the next disaster, which may be just a couple of years away, which is, global warming and the havoc it is creating. Already, heat records are being broken daily. Rainfall records are being broken so much. Okay. In a season where there should have been no rainfall, there's rainfall. So we need business continuity management. Really need it very much. And there's an ISO standard for this, ISO 22301, 2019. So this standard deals with business continuity. We'll talk about it in a later webinar. Then you have to ensure employee health, safety, and this is achieved by applying ergonomics. Ergonomics is the science of work. Science of work means designing for human use. Ergo means science, does it? No, ergo means work. Nomics means science. I suppose so. That's what the Greek letters say. I hope so. Okay. Anyway, when you design for human use, you protect health and safety. And the standard for this is ISO 45001 2018, introduced in March 2018. And this standard is available free of cost from ISO organization as a service to humanity. You must download this standard, ISO 45001 2018, and apply it. This will create safe workplaces everywhere, whether you're in a startup world or no. And then we teach you all about internet technologies. There are 15 internet technologies at present, and we teach you all about them and how they're applied in startups. Then we'll teach you about the digitized artificial intelligence businesses and how they are making amazing progress. It's just out of the world. You know, it is like Elon Musk sending 4 people out into space. Everything is automated. They don't have to do anything. Just see how things work. See the world from way up in the sky, 350 miles, I suppose. And then automatically this capsule comes down and everybody is sure that nothing will go wrong. That is how digitized AI has worked in SpaceX. And it's working in a whole lot of industries. Amazon is there. Then there is Alibaba. Alibaba has made huge progress in the application of AI in its various industries. And then there are smart products and services. We talk all about how these are developed, what you can do, and why the sky is the limit, because we are already in the 2025 area of development. And so much is available to us. You just think of it and you can create it. Then we'll look at sustainable smart cities, because what is being done in smart cities now, and there are many model smart cities already in existence, is to create fantastic systems, a whole of systems for learning from home, schooling, not having to go to really schools. Everything comes, the school comes to you. Then, yeah, as a patient, healthcare comes to you. You don't have to go, and it's all virtual, literally virtual. It's amazing. And when we teach you all this, you'll really appreciate it. So I come to the end of my presentation. I've gone slow because I'm going to put it up, and I wanted to say more than the time originally given. So now, to claim a PDF copy of this presentation, kindly send an email by going to our website and putting a request from there. So this is my website. It's learning11x.in, and you go directly to email. That's the link I put. And when you go there, it says get in touch, put your first name, last name, your email ID, and tell me how you liked my presentation. I don't mind, you can say that I went off the topic or whatever. No, you say whatever you want. It will help me to learn more and more. I love criticism. And only my customers can tell me how well I did. So then you submit it and I'll send you a PDF copy and some other material also. Okay, so just go to my presentation, my website, and go to email. Suppose you clicked on the first page, Startup Advisory. So this shows you the regular startup advisory model, which I just showed you. And then it says establishing superior growth and scale up through my value focused sustainable organization action model and the strategic hierarchy plan. Now, these 3 things together make up a hybrid accelerator. As I told you, I will tell you what is a hybrid accelerator. So already it is explained here that this is what is really required to create 100% successful startups. And then you go to webinars and you see all the webinars that I am going to be delivering till the 14th of the series, which is on 1st January 2022. Startup success, creating an organization that demonstrates its niche market. See anyone. So for instance, say number 9, value focused sustainable organization excellence model. So I'm going to explain this in detail in one webinar on 27th November. Then say startup success, structured startup stages from formation to validation to growth. So I'll cover a whole lot of things here. And actually I said that I would be delivering these webinars live, but I feel that it will be more appropriate to record the webinar and put it up on Facebook and on YouTube, both these channels of mine, and on Twitter. I will be doing a greater service to humanity than by simply putting it on YouTube, where very few people will look at it. When I put it on Twitter, Instagram, then even on maybe on TikTok, I don't know whether they accept it, Facebook, on my page in Facebook and in general Facebook, on LinkedIn, elsewhere, I will do a greater thing. So I'll revise this and say that my startup success webinars will be released on the morning of each of these days. Early morning in India at 11 a.m., I'll release each of the startups success webinars so that you can see it at your leisure on whichever platform suits you the best. I like YouTube because it stores all webinars systematically. That's why I'm using it. Okay, I'll take your leave now. Thank you for listening and being so patient. Goodbye. See you in the next webinar.